Hey there, it's Joe Sonical Disruptive. How are you? I'm well. It is album review time. Time to review the new record coming out by Sweet Oblivion called Relentless. It is released on April 9th by Frontiers Music. What is the band? Who is the band? What is it? You may ask yourself. Sweet Oblivion was a project put together by the president of Frontiers Music. Basically, the story goes, I think he was a big fan of Queensryche in the day, and he wanted to hear Geoff Tate doing material similar to that. So he put together this project. They had one other album, which was released 2 years ago, enjoyable listen. This time it's a completely different band. The main guy is Aldo Lonobile. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing the last name incorrectly. He's done a lot of projects with Frontiers Music. Secret Sphere and some others. I think he's into kind of the power metal scene, which I don't swim in those waters very often, so I'm not really familiar with his work. But he's the guy he wrote most of the songs and did the guitars. Then there's guitarist, bass player, who I'm not familiar with. The lead vocalist is Geoff Tate, of course, and that is what the band revolves around. So this latest record is Geoff Tate singing in probably his most energetic and strongest vocals since I don't know when. Really strong vocals here. And there are some songs here where it has him reaching for and hitting some notes that he hasn't really tried to get to on record in quite a few years. Incredibly clear and powerful sounding on all of the songs here. The music is very good, albeit there are some parts of it that feel a little cliche, but I think you have to realize that it is almost supposed to. That is the idea of this project. It is not to reinvent the wheel. It's not to really stretch yourself. So if you look at it from that perspective, this is a excellent record. I would say it has a feel of maybe like the Empire era of Queensryche. Now, the music a lot of times is quite different. The guitar playing by Aldo is way different. He's got a much different style than either Chris or Michael from the old Queensryche. And you hear it here, but there are songs where it is eerily similar. You've got some of these great melodies, some of these great harmonized guitar leads that are very reminiscent of early Queensryche days. But there's some more going on here. There is a little more power metal sound than you may have heard from Queensryche. And there are some keyboards here too, which Queensryche did a little bit, but very sparingly, not much. And here you will hear that, along with some more modern production and some almost more modern phrasing in just vocals on some of these. But incredibly hooky songs, very catchy. Songs like Let It Be, Fly Angel Fly is so good. Is Anybody Out There is another great song. Remember Me, Wake Up. Those songs all are absolute joys to listen to if you're a fan of Geoff Tate's vocals. Lyrically, oftentimes I like this better than the first one, and musically as well. This record has more energy than the first Sweet Oblivion record did. That record was much more downtrodden and kind of not darker sounding, but just more depressing sounding. And to me, Geoff Tate sounds more engaged in this record. he was a little bit more involved with this. I have spoken with him, and his involvement wasn't that much, but he did have more say-so in this record than he did the first. So, I'd have to say, if you were a big fan of the original Queensryche, the classic lineup Queensryche, and you were a huge fan of Geoff's vocals, there's nothing here that is going to turn you away. You're not going to hear some of the crazy screams of Screaming for Vengeance. Screaming for Vengeance? What am I talking about? Rage for Order. You won't hear any Screaming for Vengeance screams either, but you will not hear anything from maybe Rage for Order or The Warning. Some of those crazy high things he did. That's not here, but there are some moments where he is able to really get up into the higher registers, and he sounds great. Very, very strong vocal performance. Musically, it's very engaging, although there are a few riffs that sound a little cliche. That would be my only detractor from the record. There are some elements of cliche in a few of the guitar riffs, but not a lot. All in all, it is a very energetic, very fresh sounding, and really strong metal, hard rock, power metal album, however you want to label it, and has Geoff Tate sounding superb here. So there you are, Sweet Oblivion. If you were a fan of Queensryche or you're a fan of Geoff Tate, this is a must buy. It's a must listen. It just is. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching, and see you.